Are you a fan of the Famicom? And do you wonder what kind of Famicom games you can find in Japan for 5,000 yen or less? We're gonna do just that. Hi, I'm Scruffy Looking RGB, and today we're hunting for Famicom games. What is available in Japan for 5,000 yen? We upped the price to make things a little more interesting. There are a lot more quality titles out there for 5,000 yen, even in Akihabara. So let's see what we can find in that price range. At the end, I'll give you my top 3 picks. We'll break them down, and I'll give you all a chance to weigh in with your thoughts. So without further ado, let's get scruffy looking. This is the
5,000 yen Famicom Challenge.
Start out at this very indescript building. It says faintly in Japanese retro games. On the second floor they have what is called Friends, a family-oriented retro video game building located here. So we're going to go and see what they got. Let's check out the junk games here. We've got 500 yen for the Gradius. You can never go wrong with Gradius. Classic Famicom game. Has some scuffs and scrapes. A little bit of tearing on the label, but it's okay. Major League, if you didn't know, they did make a Major League game for the Famicom. It's not too fancy, it's just another baseball game. And we've got Twin B for 700 yen. That's a pretty good deal for Twin B. Finding it for under 1,000 yen, that's pretty good. Got Devil World. It's a good one for 500 yen. Draimon here is actually a shooter for 600 yen. A tough as nails shooter to be exact, but a shooter nonetheless. Transformers for 500 is also a very poor shooter, but it is a shooter. And we've got Nuts and Milk, a classic Famicom game. Very cutesy. Very simple, kind of along the same vein as Donkey Kong and those early Mario games. Chibi Maruko-chan for 800 yen. Don't remember that one so much. We've got Yoshi's Cookie, which is kind of like a Tetris type stack 'em up game. We've got lots of games inside of the shelf too. Ice Climber, Atlantis. This is Ragar actually. Tsubasa, that soccer game. It's kind of like an action role-playing game for soccer. Some SD action there. Penguins. Solomon's Key. Not too many heavy hitters in here. We've got Doki Doki Yuenchi, which is pretty cool platformer game for 5,000 yen. I want to see. I've seen it for cheaper than that previously, but it's still a lot of fun. I think it was actually released only in Europe and Japan. So Europe has like a Treasure Trolls version where you're like a treasure troll instead of this boy here. We've got Dengeki Big Bang, 4,000 yen. It is an early action game. Kind of interesting. Kind of one of those really early action games. It's kind of tough to get into, but it's an action game. Nonetheless, an interesting one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, 3,000 yen. It's always a good deal if you get Turtles for under 5,000 yen, but that's a good beat 'em up there. We've got Chojinro Senki Warwolf. I believe this came out in the States as well. 3,500 yen for this. I do love the cart art. Very cool looking style to it. We've got Double Dragon 3, Double Dragon 2. About 3,000 a piece for those. And Double Dragon 1. The whole trilogy there for about 8,500 yen. Bokenjima 3, the third installment of Bokenjima. We've got Esper Dream 2, I think is a role-playing game. 4,500 yen. Not too familiar with it as for myself, but Dream Master, another, I think this is also an RPG. 4,000 for that, a Namco game. Has a cool hard shell if you ever see it. Cool collector's case that it comes with. But let's take a peruse at what they have in the display case here. They have some very interesting things here. They've got 10 yande for 6,000 yen. That's not too bad. Rockman in there too. What else? Battletoads. Some other interesting indie games and these silver and golden games. I have to look into what those are, but some cool things here and there. Lots of game magazines and CDs. Quite a few FDS games as well. Soccer Hot Rally 3D, 5,000 yen for brand new. That must mean it's unopened, I'm guessing. Breeder. I think it's more like a strategy game, probably not the most interesting game. Golf. Dracula, 6,000. Gunsmoke, a really good one, very highly suggested. It is not complete, but it's 4,000 yen. It's not a cheap one. One of my favorites for the NES, definitely. 4,000 for Zanak. A couple copies there. And these are not complete. They just have the hard case. They don't have the booklet, but they do have the insert. So that's kind of cool. All right, I did make a purchase there, so let's move on and see what else they got at some other locations, shall we? All right, we continue. We're continuing our hunt. I don't know if you know this location here, but we're heading over to the well-known Surugaya location where I usually pick up pretty good deals. The car racing scene is in full effect tonight. It is Friday. But here we are at Surugaya. We've got the Surugaya van outside. Often find pretty good deals here, so let's see what we can get for 5,000 yen. Up in the ante today. Big money, people, big money. All right, we got Fujita greeting us at the door. Got a bunch of TVs for sale recently. All right, so we got a few on the wall here. Cosmic, what is it? Cosmic Epsilon there on the wall. Tenya Pizza Cats. That was in Friends for about 6,000, a little bit cheaper there. There's what's it? Animal Gakuen, Attack Animal Gakuen. This I think is used with the 3D goggles or whatever. Got Mighty Final Fight. This is one I want to pick up, but it's a little out of our range. 5,900. It's a fun beat 'em up though. Medulla Tsubasa. Medulla's Wing of Medulla, 6,200. That one's increased in price definitely. We've got Akihabara, kind of a what is it like? It's a top-down shooter. Red Arima 2. Oh, this is a pretty good action game, I think. Unless this is the RPG action game? I'm not sure. But one of the Red Arima games, or the Gargoyle games, are really good. Pretty interesting gameplay. A lot of action. We got Twin Bee 3, I think. Boko Boko Mao 2,100. Final Fantasy 1 and 2 on one cart for 3,500. That's not bad. We've got Metal Max. That sounds super familiar, but I just know that the game does not ring a bell at the moment. It rings a bell, but I can't remember what kind of game it is. Is it a mech game? I don't remember. 6,000 yen? A little out of our price range. What else? What do we got here in the super expensive case? So we got some good stuff here. Oh, here's one I'd really like to pick up. Maybe for Christmas. I don't know. We've got Heibureke. Really interesting. By Sunsoft, I think. Gunnak here. Wow, that's shot up there. Gunnak, 11,000. Dark Lord is another expensive one. I think I've talked about it in a previous episode. It is I guess it has pretty good graphics for a RPG on the Famicom. That's what I heard. Anyways, Albodox is a good shooter. I believe they have that in North America too. What is it? Swordmaster? This is an action game. I don't know much about it, but I'm definitely going to research that one. 20,000 for that. We've got Momotaro Densetsu. Is this the action version one, or is this another one of those game board type games? Doropie, that's another one I'd really like to get. The female Mega Man there for 31,000. Bit out of our range though. Redia Senki, I hear is pretty good. Role-playing game. I don't know why this Famistar 94, why is that so expensive? Have those gone up in value? Wow, 8,000. Alright, and I think we have some MSX games down here. I'm going to stick to the Famicom games though. We've got, was that Fajikuru Fight? Or is that's the second Twin B that did not come out on cart, or it's a very rare cart. So 14,000 for that. Or just Gun Deck, which is a pretty good one. Has a good likeness of, what's his name? The guy that was in Die Hard. Bruce Willis. 11,300 for that. It's a cool action platformer. Is Metal Max over here? No. What is that called? I cannot see that. Metal Storm, maybe. 16,000. I think that's definitely cheaper than the American version, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure though. I can't remember. But Medulla on the inside too. Rockman 6 is 3,500. We have Jetman here for 5,500. I've been kind of wanting to get this. This is a pretty cool game. Donald Land, and we've got Airwolf, Monster Maker. I'm not really sure. It says a role-playing game. Okay. This is Crazy Climber, 3,000. I'm not sure what that is. I have to check that out. Is that the one where you can be like a lizard character or Godzilla or like a Wolfman? Possibly. Why is this? I didn't know this was kind of an expensive game, but car racing. I've come across this quite a few times. Double Dragon 3. This is cheaper than it was over at Friends, that's for sure. Wizardry. This game here. Well, we've got Ninja Gaiden 3 for 4,500. Bikuriman Gremlins 2 for 4,400. That's supposed to be a pretty good one. It might be a good pickup. Seeing it is the Christmas season and we're splurging a bit. Space Hunter. That is an interesting, very early game. Kind of interesting though. Ultraman Club. And Ikari 2, I think. Ikari 2. Circus Charlie. We have the baseball game. Capcom Gradius 2, 3,000. That's pretty much what it goes for, usually. Yes. Jesus. We got Jesus here. 3,000 yen. Is this Valis? Yeah, Valis for 3,300. Eryushin. Role-playing. That's an interesting looking piece of box art. Or cart art. It's Draimon. Is that Draimon? What does it say? Kitere tsu dai epokusha. It's like a knockoff Draimon. Huh, I'll have to look into this. This looks interesting. Just Seed. Some Goemon. We've got Splatterhouse. That would be kind of expensive actually for such a faded copy of Splatterhouse. That's fun though. You got Metal Fight here for 4,900. That's pretty good. They do have some manuals. Got a Dig Dug 2 manual for 1,000 yen. Any good peripherals in here? Let's go to the other display case. Oh, they've got Horizon here. We did see that the other day for about 220,000. So this is like 10,000 more. But that's one I'd like to get. And they got Moon Crystal here still. It is an expensive one. Also, they have the... Which one? That is the Aruki Mendes version loose for Gradius, 84,000 for that. I'd love to come across one of those in a junk bin one day. Probably not going to happen, but there it is. Oh my goodness, these Namco games are really crazy expensive. Look at that, Pac-Man, 44,000. Wow, Galaxian and Galaga, all in 40,000 yen territory. That is pretty insane. Come down here. What do we have? Dragon Quest games are pretty expensive there on the edge. We've got Raft World for 35,000. We've got the Turtles. Which one is that? I like how they use the movie art on that box. That's pretty cool. But most of these are out of our range. I think 5,000 yen is not going to get us any of these, unfortunately. Rockman 2 is going for 30,000. Got Quinty here. Action game Quinty for 2,100 in the Namco box. That's a cute box. Nice rainbowy colors. What else do we have? Gyrodyne. Something something Chie. This was an anime, I believe. What else? We got some Sanrio games here. Sanrio. It seems like a really good deal for that game. 1,600 for this retro box art. That's a really nice piece to put up on your shelf if you're a Sanrio collector too, or Famicom for that matter. There's Keropi, 1,500. I think these two are more like puzzle games, like a Tetris-like game possibly. Golf. This is going for, this is 2,000. Doughboy. Anything super exciting? We got Dragon Spirit. How much are that? 2,200. That's not a bad price. It is not great condition, but this one used to be very, very cheap, even in the box. I guess 2,000 yen is still pretty cheap. Mahjong Tengoku. Cool artwork on that. I love that artwork. It's really cool. Family Star 1990, 1,500. 1989 for 1,500. 1987 for 900. 1988 for 900. Got boxing, family boxing. Got Namco Racing there. Final Lap, 1,200. This one's cool because it has the Pac-Man logo in the back there. Pachinko. Nothing too exciting, but they do have a lot of box games here. Got Major League, 1,400 in the box. That's awesome, dude. That is such a cool game. 1,400. That seems like a really good deal for that, coming with that awesome box. Really nostalgic. 80s children, Major League, yeah. Monopoly. That's pretty cool. 1,400. Lots of cool stuff. What else? We got Dirty Pair for 5,300 on the FDS. I'm going to include FDS in this since that is also Famicom, technically. Alright, let's check out this game here. Oh, can we pull it out here? We've got Makaijima Kurohige, 5,200 boxed. Goonies 2 for 6,500. I'm going to put that over there so I can kind of look over here. What is this game here? Shin Satomi Haken Den. That looks cool. What is that? Oh, it's a role-playing. I love that artwork though. This game up here is a really horrible shooter. Not worth it. Some Gundam games. Great artwork. Gameplay, not so much. Hattori-kun and another role-playing game. I'm not familiar with Ginga or something. We got Image Fight. That is cool artwork. 4,300 for that boxed game. That's pretty cool. Spy vs. Spy. I had that on the NES back in the day. So many cool games to look at through here. Goemon, 2,400 boxed. It is quite scruffy looking. Ultraman Club 2. We got Final Fantasy 3 boxed there. Lots of really cool stuff here. What is this? Dragon Ninja. I think that's Bad Dudes, if I'm not mistaken. 3,500. Am I right? Is that Bad Dudes? Yeah, it looks like Bad Dudes. Loved playing that game as a kid. That's pretty cool though. That's a cool game. Very nostalgic. 3,500. Nice. What is this? TM Network Live and Power Bowl. 6,800. Comes with a cool little tin here. That might be cool to check out. Really, really cool games. Okay, that's not so cool. What do we got here? The Something or Other Saga role-playing game. Got Twin B, 7,100. That's going way up for Twin B. I mean, I like Twin B, but it's kind of Gunhead. I think that's a strategy simulation game. Yeah. The PC Engine game is much better. Afterburner, 5,600. And what is that? ACG Masho Deluxe Setsunetsuki. Interesting. Device. Action game. What is that, I wonder? Jiku Yuki Den. I cannot see. I love the box art though. I have to look that up. Oh, there's so many games here today. Quinty and we got Jajamaru. I'm not gonna look at that. Dragon Quest and some more Twinbee. Metro Cross, 4,800, and Mito something Mon. I can't remember. It's an old Japanese Geki drama about the Mitomon Lord. What do we got here? So many, I can't even look at all these games, there's so many. It's packed to the brim with Famicom here. We've got Hot Scramble. It's not hot though, I'll tell you that. I'm just going to stick that over there so I can look through these. Mario Golf. Lots of games here, man. Pico Pico Dura Aga is 4,200. Okay. Dynamite Bowl. Tiny Toon Adventures is a pretty good one. 5,000 doesn't seem too bad for that in the box. King of Kings and Goemon 2, 7,400. Alright, I found a Sansu controller here, but it is pretty expensive. 6,200. A little bit over what I'd like to pay for something like that, though. I have a couple dog bone controllers in here, 3,000 yen for that. Some adapter cables too. You're in Akihabara. Oh, TriStar. This, you can play Famicom games on your Super Famicom. I kind of want to get one of these. 11,000 there for that. On to the next location. Here we are. We've got Kokoron here, which is one I'd like to grab. 12,000? Oh wait. Yeah, 12,000. 12,000 for that in the box. If I can find a loose copy for about like 4,000 or 5,000, I would pick it up. There's some Makaimura. I do enjoy that box art too. There's a complete nuts and milk for about 6,000. Got Buggy Popper. I don't know if I've ever heard of that game before. Cool though. Spelunker. We do have a few games here. Guamon 2. 1580. A few games in the display case. They've got Mighty Final Fight for a more reasonable price than we've seen it today. 5,280. That might be worth grabbing. Might have to go just a little bit over my budget. There's Lolo for 15,000. That's well over my budget. There's Jetman for under 5,000. 47,000. 4,700 for that. These might be good additions. And look at that. There's a Kaikai there. I don't know if that's real or not, but it's 6,900. Looks a little faded. That might be why it's cheaper. You don't find them for that cheap these days. There's YY World in the box for 11,000. Jesus in the box for 9,000. White Lion Denshetsu for 8,000. Gradius 2 for 8,000. And what is this? Sansaranaga for 8,000. Musashi for 8,000. Another Gradius 2 for 7,000. Mother for 14,000. Wow. And Battlestorm. That strange game with Eddie Murphy for 11,000. Oh, there's a very rough looking Kokoron for 4,200. And Faibado. Never heard that. Taiyo no Yusha Faibado. That's a first. Oh, they've got Fushigina Burobi. I didn't know that was so cheap here. I want to say that's a pretty expensive one usually. Ghostbusters 2 in the box for 40,000 yen. Mighty Final Fight for 33,000. Wow. There is Armadillo for 7,400. I really wish I would have bought that for, was it like 1,700 yen a couple years back? Max Warrior, 12,000. There's Lolo, the one we saw earlier. It's got some yellowness to it, but it's 10,000. Rockboard, not a very fun game. We've got Nemo here, which I wish I would have got a couple of years back for about 2,000 yen, but 5,000. That's in their budget. Fun action platformer. FC Genjin, the Nintendo version of PC Genjin or Bonk. It's one I'd like to have in the collection too. Gunnak for 9,900. There's Gun Deck for about 10,000. So 8,000 for Rockman. Definitely gone up in price here. Rockman 2 is 3,600. Other ones are more affordable. Rockman 6 is up there too, about 6,000. Rockman 5 is like 2,000. Valis is also like 2,500. Look at that. This is another one I'd like to pick up. They have Gensun here for about 4,000. That might be a good pickup. Wow, this one has really gone up. Splatterhouse, really? 6,200, I guess. Got Dig Dug and Dig Dug 2. Goemon 2. Final Fantasy 1 and 2 on a disc. Or on a cart, excuse me. Anjuk Tamago. We've got Twin B, 980. We got a good deal on ours. It's much better condition than that. Proteus, 2,200. We've already got that though. 4,000. Wow, that's jumped in price a bit. Here we've got Fantasy Zone, the one I picked up recently. We got about 400 yen off that price. That was nice. And Fantasy Zone 2, 2,000. I didn't know there was a Fantasy Zone 2. That might be cool to pick up too. 1943, that's one I don't have, I don't think. So Famicoms are going for 11,800.
Okay, let's talk about our 3 finalists on today's 5,000 yen Famicom Challenge. So first up, we have Mighty Final Fight. This is a really fun, fast-paced action beat-em-up that came along later in the Famicom's lifespan, and it has excellent graphics, fun gameplay, and a plethora of protagonists to choose from, whom each have their own special moves and attack moves. This is a little over 5,000 yen, but I'll include it here because it's one that's been on my list for quite a while now. Next up, we have Kokoron, a very interesting action game designed by the same folks that created Little Samson. So you know, this one is going to be good. The most noteworthy point in this game is that you can create your very own character from the look of the weapon and the name as well. There's seemingly endless amounts of possibilities for your character, which makes this game like none other from its time. At least none that I'm aware of. As you progress, you get to make more characters, and you get to choose what character you'd like to use before each level begins. Cat's Tonin Den Teiyande, or Samurai Pizza Cat, is number 3. Okay, this one is a little over budget too, but it's too good not to mention here. The concept alone is pretty darn fresh, for starters. Not quite as cool as Ninja Turtles, but this is no Turtles knockoff. At least it's too good of a game to think of it as so. It's got great graphics, it's a lot of fun to play with many different protagonists to choose from. You guys noticing a unintentional theme here? Anytime during gameplay you can switch up your character, which allows you to utilize the special moves of each of your samurai felines. The cutscenes are really beautiful, and feels almost like you're watching a Saturday morning cartoon on the Famicom. Well, that's my top 3, and now it's time for a winner. Today's winner is Teiyande. So here is Samurai Pizza Cats. Full disclosure though, Samurai Pizza Cats was actually a Christmas gift given to me by my pal and fellow YouTuber Jimmy Hoppa. over there at Import Gaming for the win. So after you check this video out, go and show him some love. Check out his amazing documentary game reviews and tell him that Scruffy says thank you.
What do you think of my top 3 picks today? Do you agree? Or were you thinking about some other titles? Let me know down in the comments. Remember to check out Scruffy Looking RGB memberships if you want exclusive content, and also to help out this scruffy looking nerfiter. Big thanks to the current members. If you enjoyed this video or would like to check out some of my modding videos, stick around for the end screen. There will be some playlists awaiting you.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a happy holidays.
Stay safe, but above all, stay scruffy looking.
Who's scruffy looking?